I update the here.
Loss doesn't typically take that away.
Oh, perfect.
I'm sure hope not.
That's what I like. Let's go. Let's go.
Hi.
Good evening, and welcome to the work session of the Battle Creek Public School Board of Education. Today is Monday, August 11th, 2025. It is 5:30 p.m. I am now calling this meeting to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Ryan Hoagland Jackson, Art McClinney,
Yes.
Dr. Alicia Johnson,
Here.
Nathan Graycheck, Dr. Nicole Perry,
Present.
Charlie Fulbright.
Here. As a reminder, tonight's meeting is being interpreted into Spanish, thanks to our partners from Voces Battle Creek. To listen in Spanish, please refer to the description on our YouTube live stream for the link. To our board members and other speakers, please remember to speak clearly and not too quickly so that our interpreters are able to keep up. Moving on, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
President Fulbright.
Trustee Perry?
I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
It's been moved by Trustee Perry, supported by Trustee McClinney. Any discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. The BCPS Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the community to express themselves on district matters. We have two opportunities tonight on our agenda for public comment. The Board of Education requests you fill out a public participation form and contact information. As you come to the microphone, please state your name. Each statement made by a speaker shall be limited to a 3-minute duration, and if the speaker represents a group, the person will be given 5 minutes to speak. BCPS Board of Education will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. Public commenters will direct all comments to the Board of Education and not to staff or participants. Do we have any public comments? Thank you. Moving on to discussion. MCCU partnership. Mr. Perry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is my extraordinary excitement to present representatives from the Marshall Community Credit Union and their involvement that is going to happen this year with high school. Come on up. Blake and Tyler. Oh, no.
Oh, Blake and Tyler.
No, you guys. This
I
is
was
yours.
gonna say.
Sorry, do you have a presentation or no?
I didn't have the presentation for this meeting, but I have it for tomorrow.
You're good. Do this. There you go.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Van Dyke. I'm the Community and Youth Engagement Manager at MCCU. And this year, we are officially partnering with Battle Creek Central High School to bring an in-school credit union to the high school and support with financial education through classroom presentations, continuing supporting mock interviews, doing all things financial education for the school with an ultimate goal to roll it out district-wide over the years. So a fun fact about me is I actually got my start with the credit union through an in-school credit union. I was the first student teller back in 2013 at Marshall High School, and it completely changed my career trajectory. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I was going to pursue a business degree, but getting partnered with MCCU and having that internship obviously set me on my career path, and I'm here over 10 years later, now running the program that originally hired me. So there's a lot of great opportunity. It's career exploration, so whether somebody actually decides to stick with it or not, they're picking up great financial knowledge, hopefully passing it along to their families, and then, if it does stick, it's a potential career for them down the road. So really excited, and if you guys have any questions or if I'm forgetting anything.
I think what is really extraordinary is that our students get to participate in this coming school year with the full rollout in the following year. But what is more exciting to me is that this is scalable all the way down to our youngest students. And so as we work with the high school, we're going to figure out the ways to get this to our youngest students so that by the time that they graduate from the high school, they will be financially literate and stable and ready to interact with the whole world. So we are extraordinarily excited about this. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes. Yeah, we have student-led branches in our elementary schools in Marshall, Marley School District, and then part of Harper Creek. And we have student volunteers that are 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and they take their jobs very seriously. They actually post their transactions, so they're taking their fellow students' deposits and processing the transactions live in our system. They're running deposit prizes, so you're building that momentum. I mean, a kid could bring a penny every week if that's all they have, or if that's all mom and dad sends with them, and that's something that builds confidence. It builds a positive habit that they're doing every single week. And yeah, it's actually a fun story too. The normal branch that I went to, I wasn't able to make it that day, and Janelle, who was here earlier, she had to fill in for me for my school, and our student teller was trying to tell her how to run Portico, which was our financial system. She was like, no, this is the trick. This is how you do it. So it just builds like a ton of confidence in these kids, and they take that forward, and it's just a great program, and we're really excited to be partnering with you all.
Any questions? Yeah, I have a question related to, so there'll be an on-site facility, but will there be coursework or literacy or any sort of classes?
Yep. So we have a financial education team, so we go out and do financial presentations. So for the younger grades, we don't have like every single week or every single month something that we do, but especially for that like 3rd, 4th grade age, I've done budgeting with Skittles and go in and do like, everybody gets a different pack, everybody starts differently. And then they go through budget busters and they see how quickly their money goes. Coin identification for the younger kids is a big one. Kind of like a space explorers needs and wants. So there's lots of different presentations we do. And then as you get into the middle school, high school range, we're sponsoring something called Personal Finance Simulation through StuKent, and it's a 12-week course where the high school students will receive their paycheck on Monday, and then they have to pay all their bills by Friday in that simulation, and it populates credit score. You can do classroom management and have it tied to like if they want to leave class early or use their cell phone, you can make like financial penalties, or so they're making real life decisions, and it's obviously a low stakes environment because they're not using real money, but just builds understanding around all of that.
You sit in the front row versus sitting in the back. The teacher can really kind of set that up and kind of personalize it to the student experience in the class.
Yeah, and the teacher can make it in that simulation as robust or as plain as they want to, so they have flexibility. So depending on the size of their class or exactly what the goal is, they can make it their own.
Share anything about the student credit union? And then it will be moving into having a student credit union in the student store, and so that definitely gives you that more hands-on experience because they're literally splitting their student learning with an internship with us. And so they get hired as an employee, they get paid, and they can work in branch, but then they also are the student tellers at the school credit union, and so they have that dual role. And then Laura is a really strong mentor to them, and she gives assignments, has them write blogs, so there is the educational component for the senior.
Any other questions or?
I just want to thank you for your partnership with Battle Creek Public Schools. This is a huge opportunity for our students, and I deeply appreciate that you all brought in the resources for us to meet this need.
Yes, thank you. And we gotta give a shout out to the Career Academies model and everything in the council meetings, because otherwise we wouldn't have gotten connected. And Blake for doing a lot of work and talking to us for the last couple of years. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're really excited to get it launched.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to B, WK Prep update.
Yeah, it's me again. So, hello again. I want to invite up Tyler and Carly Hawkins. and they are going to give a presentation about where we are with WK Prep at BCC. There's a lot of exciting moving parts this summer. We're really excited by what they've managed to create, and they're going to show it.
All right. That presentation is up. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Carly Hawkins. I am the Dean at WK. So we have been fearlessly working on making the move to combine the schools together. WK is now located in 4 of the rooms inside the music wing of Battle Creek Central. We were able to do this while maintaining the music program. Students will use door 24 to enter and exit, so the WK students have their own enter and exit area. And all the items, thanks to our amazing facilities people, have been moved. Yes, thank you, Herb and Josh. Moved over, and classes will be fully set up before open house on the 19th. Our staff for WK consists of Kathy Baisden, Allie Young, Carla Bellier, Mike Smith, and myself. For breakfast and lunch for our students, we're going to start with breakfast in the music wing in their arena, and then lunch is going to be in the Battle Creek Central Commons. We're going to try kind of both options for our students for the first 2 weeks and get student feedback on which they prefer, whether they like eating in their own space or whether they like eating in the Commons, and we'll make adjustments from there. Because our WK teachers who are coming over, none of them are certified in social studies, we had to get a little creative. And so with Principal Gillen's help, we have developed a plan to provide social studies push-in supports from BCC. So the social studies teacher will come in to provide social studies education to our WK students during their planning time. And that will then provide an opportunity for our arena students to provide virtual supports for our students who are working remotely. For our electives, we have a good coordination going with art and music teachers. They're able to also push in and provide virtual supports through a schedule that we've created together. And then students who want to participate in like semester-long in-person classes alongside BCC students would be able to. We just have to coordinate that with the counselors. So this is going to provide extra involvement for our WK students. So WK students will have the additional and easier access to sports, clubs, extracurriculars, and those electives. WK and BCC will have easier access to shared student experiences as we are all Bearcats. Right now, WK's current enrollment is approximately 126 students. 30 of those students are fully remote. Remote students. 16 are flex remote, which means they can attend in person when needed, and 14 are fully remote students who work solely from home. 6 of our students have partial schedules, whether that's like a half day or specific days that they come in based on their own life circumstances. So we expect that approximately 90 students will be in person daily. We have been communicating all this out to our families since the end of June. So an intent to return form was sent out at the end of June with multiple follow-ups in July. And then we did a phone blast the first week of August to get a hold of anyone we hadn't heard of back from if they were planning to come back with us. We've also been active on Facebook, posting about the changes and updates that are coming our way, and advertising our open house and hoping that everyone's here for day 1. We're excited to continue with our positive school experience plan. It's something we're really proud of at WK, is celebrating our students. And so we focus really diligently on our daily arena community building. Students are celebrated daily with bank bonds and credit slips that they earn. We do Arena Champions of the Week and weekly Goal Getter Awards. We're going to do a monthly Dean's List Award this year, Bank Bond Billionaire Celebrations, and Arena Attendance Awards, which includes a traveling trophy that's going to go arena to arena based on whoever has the best attendance for that month. As a staff, we're really working on growth mindset, not only with our students, but with ourselves. And we're doing a staff reading on closing the bereavement gap. And we're working on our PSE plan through there. Our student voice is very important through this transition. So we're going to continue with that in the first bit of the school year to make sure that they are being heard. Roar course is implemented. We have our posters up. Our arena mentors are doing roar lessons during arena time. We have our roar bucks, and the roar store is going to be in connection with the Battle Creek Central School store, where students can earn bucks to then go purchase items. So what's next? We have continued transition meetings between Central and WK to ensure that all parties involved are aware of any adjustments and that everybody is feeling very comfortable and confident with the changes ahead. We have our first ABC data dig at the middle of September, and then come middle of October, we're going to send out a family and student survey, the first of the year, to get that needed feedback and make adjustments if needed. And then we are also trying to build in additional virtual learning options and building in our community partnerships. All right, that was a lot, that was fast. Feedback, questions, things I did not answer.
Okay, I have like 5 questions. Some of them are quick. One, I apologize if I missed this, but did you do your introduction?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
It's
sorry.
okay. I'm Carly Hawkins. I'm the Dean of Instruction at WK.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I apologize for
That's
this.
okay.
And then you mentioned social studies. Are there special requirements for social studies? So is it different like from, or that's the only subject that we didn't have people certified?
So out of the teachers who were transitioning from the WK building into the new space with us, we did not have a teacher who was certified in social studies. And so in order to make sure we were providing that quality social studies education, we had to find that push and support.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think for us too, that was one of the major benefits of us bringing our programs together is to open up access. And when we're weighing out all the decisions, we have some phenomenal social studies teachers that volunteered and said, I have more to give. How do I help support all of our babies? So.
And then you mentioned several things that they will have access to, some classes, activities. So is this more than what they had access to before?
So as far as permission to have access to, not necessarily.
Okay.
WK students have always been allowed to participate in sports, extracurriculars, but this physical separation between the buildings caused issues with communication, feeling like you're part of that community, having just the dates of when do I show up, what time do I show up. Those internal communications were kind of lacking. And then the physical participation in like elective courses, we didn't have that ability to offer within the WK building.
So they didn't have electives really?
We did virtually through the tracker system, but not an in-person go into a
It's hard to
music
do
classroom.
music.
Right, yes. We were very creative, we've done well with it, but we're excited to extend those offerings as well.
We also know that there are some additional special programs like the CACC, for example, sometimes created logistical headaches of how do we work through that for students who were historically at the WK prep program. And now that we're all in the same building, we all share the same resources, we all share the same buses, they all have the same counselors. It makes it a lot more fluid for us to make sure that kids have access to their level of need.
That was actually one of my questions about counselors. Do they have their own dedicated counselors there?
So for us, our platform was a majority of the students who are currently enrolled in WK arenas came from Battle Creek Central High School at one point. And we know that our counselors that get to know our babies and stay with them, it's best if they travel with them. So our Be It Academy counselor, if a student was ever in the Be It Academy, they stay with that counselor, they stay with that behavior interventionist, they stay with that principal for support. And the same thing for HHS. But as we get new students to enroll, every Friday we have our student success team that meets. We look at all new student enrollees and look at what is their name, need, and strength of every student. We also look at like what are some challenges that we're facing around the student experience and how do we support appropriately. And Ms. Carly will be coming up to our student success team meetings. So as we're getting new students enrolled within WK's program, we'll identify what might be the appropriate fit for the counselor and the behavior interventionist by student.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
And I think I only have one more. Is the scheduling staggered? So how do we maintain like this the healthy separation, right? So will they have a different start time, a different end time to minimize that?
So WK does start a little bit later than the Central students do. We open our doors at 7:30 for students to come in, which is a little bit later. You guys are
6:50.
6:50. And then
Everybody's like, woo.
sorry, you're fine.
Tyra's like, what? We do this all the
I know that early.
We are dismissing at the same time. That, though, has not changed from previous years. So our WK students and BCC students have all been able to access the same buses year after year. And so in order to keep busing consistent, that dismissal time has to stay consistent. But that has been a hurdle, a collaboration, whatever you want to call it, for many years. And our students have handled that. We just also always have to make sure that there's adult supervision, right? In the mornings, at dismissal, making sure that administrators, Bearcat coaches are present and watching out for those things. We also are having parents pick up through like the WK lot. And so anybody who's not riding the buses will head out and kind of go that direction, whereas then those handful who are riding the bus from WK will go to the bus route.
And they've always rode the same bus.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not new.
Thank you.
What other questions can we answer?
Just a real quick one. Just the social study teacher is going to be splitting between the high school and WK.
So our social studies teacher is actually, you even might know her, Miss Greger. Yep. So this year she's slated for us to be our senior capstone teacher. So she'll spend 3 of the 4 blocks per day teaching for us, and then she'll spend an hour of her, what would otherwise be her planning period down in overage, going down to support WK students. So she'll be teaching an hour block daily.
So you got the 14 home remote students, correct?
Yes.
14, and then the 30 remote. So how is that going to work? Who's
So-
going to monitor?
So we've always had a remote population through WK, usually about 25, 30 students, and so that should be pretty well managed the same way we always do. They have to communicate with their teachers weekly through contact logs, in addition to logging into Google Meets to connect with their teachers that they need assistance with. So there's daily Google Meets hours from our WK teachers, from Ms. Greger, from the other elective teachers as well, to make sure that we're connecting with those remote students.
So I was just talking specifically about the social studies teacher, so she will.
Yeah.
She also has virtual hours to support the remote students, yes.
So Wednesdays are the days that's dedicated specifically for her right now to make sure that that's when she, instead of like pushing into the classroom, that'll be her block of time to really look at the pace and the success of students who are remote.
I just want to say thank you to both of you for the hard work that went into creating a transitional program that still is designed to meet the individual needs of the students. I appreciate the way that this has been set up so that there is still that individualized small approach for students who need it. So.
I do have one more
Yes.
question. And this might not be something that they want or desire, but is there a special open house for students so that they can go ahead, right? The first day of school to see, and not with everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so actually open house will be a week from today for everybody. We're gonna go 4 to 6. So we're gonna bring everybody into the high school gym, kind of give everybody welcome back, exciting for a new year, a year of results, a year of impact. And then we're going to launch folks out to different spheres based on their kind of arena or program. So the Freshman Academy will stay in the gymnasium and work with the Freshman Academy team, because parents that are in transition really want to know, is it safe? Who are the people in this building? Where do my babies go? You know, what's my kid's homeroom? They just have a lot of different kind of questions. The Be It HHS Academy will go to the Commons. Those families are normally a little bit more like, hey, I want to connect with the new principal and get my schedule and get out of here. And then at the same time, students who are part of the WK arena.
So it's the same day though as the other one?
Same day, same time.
So the first half an hour or so is all together as a community, and then separate out into the different wings inside of Central.
I did have a quick question. I don't remember what the enrollment was last year, but you said 126 approximately this year. Do you know if that's higher or lower than last year?
Currently, that's a little bit lower. We had around 170 last year. Then we graduated a large group, and we haven't done a large re-enrollment as we're trying to siphon through this transition and make sure that we're really ready to receive all of those new babies. And so we do plan on doing another push in October to start bringing that back up. For now, we're bringing back those who are returning students and making sure we get everything kind of situated in and make any adjustments before we kind of open that back up.
So I have a comment.
Yes.
I think it's kind of echoing what you were saying, Dr. Carter, but just commend the work that was done to make sure that you're still preserving the uniqueness and the needs of that program, but integrating it into a building. I think a lot of people were very dead set on a location versus the services. And then you're also just showing that being in that new location allows you to actually get enhanced services to set our students up for even more success. So I'm excited about the work you all have already set up and what I'll see, that I'm sure we'll all see come out as the success stories for our students in that program. So kudos to you all for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just a comment, I hope the graduation rates is not 6 years. Hope it,
They're already on it,
4 years.
right? Already on it.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, moving on to C, board vacancy. So, we got a few things to talk about. In your blue folder, you'll see we actually had 7 applicants, but one of them is not able to make it at our next board meeting for the interview process. So 6 total, and I believe Quita, you already took out that applicant. Okay, perfect. So in your folder, you'll see 6 different applicants. And our next meeting, we get to choose one of them. So I think the first thing is we need to decide, are we each going to ask a question to each candidate, or are we all going to ask one question per candidate? We have 6, so I don't know how long we want to do this, but let's talk about it. What are you guys thinking?
So I thought about it, you refreshed my memory, we did have one question per board member, which I think is fair. Yeah, I think it was just one, we went around the round robin. So that's
For
my
each candidate?
prefer.
You're saying one question from each board member for each
Yeah.
candidate?
That's what we did last time.
And like, let's say I'm asking a question, my one question is going to be the same for each candidate. It's not going to be a different question because that wouldn't be
Yeah,
fair.
one question
Yeah.
should be the same question.
Okay. I'm just taking notes. Order of interviews. So I don't know how we did it when I was here, but how did we decide who's getting the first question and the order? Did we draw numbers or things out of a hat? Like what did, because
It was on the list, just,
Assign them.
that's the way it was. Yeah.
okay, so we'll figure that out then. I also, so we do have to have a majority vote, so we'll have to have 4 yeses. I'm just gonna try and state what happened with me, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but for instance, if I'm the first candidate and I get 3 yeses, then I didn't get it, it goes to the next person. But if 6 candidates get 3 yeses and the 7th candidate gets 4, that person is the person we choose. If the first person gets 4, we don't even interview the other 6. It's the first person to get 4 yeses. So,
I don't
Say
think-
that again?
I don't think we
Yeah.
did it that way. That's not how we did it.
so
I thought someone had to make a recommendation.
Right. We voted at the end. We listened to the candidates, I believe they asked the questions, and we went through each candidate, and then we had a discussion. And then the president.
That was you. I remember.
It brought back nightmares. Anyway, then the president
Entertains a motion
entertained the
and
motion,
someone.
and then we went
nominate.
through each person, And I think that's the fair way to do it.
Yeah.
To say, well, if we do the first person, they get 4 votes, and everybody else good.
Go home.
Right.
So when you say yeses though, so we each ask a question and then for each, help me understand the scoring, if you will, for each question.
It really isn't a scoring, if I can help. It is, so the way it will run is there are 6 candidates. You'll call the first one up. Mr. Michael Henry comes forward. Each board member asks their question. Art will ask a question, they answer, goes on. Now, you can say, I don't have a question, thank you, or, right, you can skip over. Now, so all the questions, you're just taking your notes. That person sits down, we call up Mitch Fowler now. Do the same process. So you do that 6 times. Then afterwards, you can have an open discussion on the qualifications of those candidates, and then somebody makes a motion. I move that Mitch Fowler be considered for the board seat, and then you take a vote. Now, and so to Charlie's point, you take the vote and he only gets 3. Then somebody else has to make a motion to the next person, you think. So then Charlie might say, well, okay, that happened, so now I'm gonna make a motion for Michael Henry to be and you take the vote until you get to the 4. That's what he's talking
That's
about.
yeah.
So if you get to 4 on that first motion, then no, you don't vote on the rest of them because somebody made
We
the
should
motion.
each only be selecting one.
Yes.
Right? So, gotcha. So you can't say yes to 2 people. You have to pick your
You
person.
gotta pick your person. There's the
Okay.
But you can, so if the first person, if Dr. Henry gets 3 yeses, so he didn't get it, and you said you were a yes for him, you can also be a yes to Mitch because
To the next
it's a new round. So I could say yes to all 6, but if the 5th person is the one who gets 4 yeses, they win.
So the way it's ended up is, it was Charlie and another individual ended up with a tie. And so we kept going around and around and we're in a tie. Finally, I ended up breaking the tie.
Right. I didn't get it at first, and then we did it all again because there was only 3 of us, and then you switched, and you chose me. Thanks.
How many years later? I think the most important point is once you get to 4, the vote stops. So to your point, have your 1 in mind, and you might be the first one to make the motion. Whomever comes out with the motion first, that's how you get to the vote. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
And since we'll have,
Mr. Perry, looks like you're thinking over there.
I am. I'm stuck on,
I can
stuck
see
on
it.
everybody asking a question. That's a lot.
Oh, the timing.
I mean, I don't want to rush through the process, but that if you get somebody that's long-winded, so I was like, my mind was going to, do we need to have a timer on answers or whatever, and then
you're the timer keeper.
yeah, or even like what question is being asked. I don't want to assume nobody gonna ask nothing that's like irrelevant, but do we just need to align on like 3 good questions or something like that? Because 6 questions for 6 people,
That's the
That's
job
36.
interview.
yeah.
Who decided 6?
No,
Did
you
we
know what,
decide
if I think
thought that's
about
what
it,
everybody gets to
if
ask.
I
It's
think
6
about
of
it, you had to submit your question in
Right, and
advance,
then the questions
right?
were, so everybody had a question, and that's, you're refreshing my memory. The questions came in, and then we had the questions. Everybody took one of those questions that we decided on, and that's what happened.
So there were 6 questions total, and each board member just got one of the
Yes.
questions that we all came
There
up
are
with.
6 questions.
Everybody submitted
Doesn't
questions.
have to be done that way, you can say, we're just gonna pick 3 that, based on all these, here are the 3
never
that
had
I
this
wanna
one.
know.
Yeah, because I think 6 is too much. Like, you can get to some very
Word right.
good insights, right, with a well-asked question.
So is
I don't
want to do 6 if we still talking about that? Because that's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm okay with 3 questions for each candidate, but they have to be the same questions for each candidate.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Is that something you want to, right now in the work session, come up with the 3 questions?
What did you use last time? Do you have those?
Well, I'll defer to you two because we're live stream, so will the people be able to hear the questions and hear something before?
Okay.
I think we
Like, I don't know how you guys did it.
Okay, yes.
Just submit
Well, we
the-
weren't live streamed.
Oh.
But I hear you, so we can, if every board member sends them in, because I'm also trying not to break quorum via email at the same time.
So each board member could send me
Yes.
one question, and then out of those 6, because we have 6 board members,
The board president will make the decision of these are the 3
There you
that
go.
he will ask.
You're more than
You have
likely
that
going
power.
to get the same questions.
yeah, right,
That's
absolutely.
what happened
Yeah,
last time.
Here are the 3, and you will send those out to board members.
got it.
Not to exceed 3. You might be like, I'm good with 2.
It's one question.
Not as great.
Powerful.
Not to Let me go too. I love it.
You did have a follow-up question last time. 6:50 in the morning. We ended up with more asking a follow-up question based off the question and that was answered. So just be aware. 'Cause that, you can't just shut somebody down and say, like I used Charlie. Charlie didn't know really what the OEC was.
I did not.
So
I'm not letting
I
him
think
live.
I asked him, I think it was me or Karen asked him, we actually told him what it was, but then he went, oh! So,
Yeah, he said, "Oh, Clear Lake Camp."
clearly,
Yeah,
That's what I grew up with.
Exactly. You didn't know the
this
new
might be a follow-up.
Yeah.
I got you, Charlie. You knew what
I
He
did.
said Clear Lake County. He was- yeah.
So we're gonna submit our question.
Yep, and I'll send an email because Nathan and Ryan aren't here, so for everyone, a blanket email saying, send me a question. Once I get one from each of you, I'll pick 3 and send a new email saying, these are the 3. And then each of us will be able to ask those 3 questions because there's 6 candidates and 6 board members.
Coeta, Ms. Smith, will send an email to each of the candidates reminding them that your letter of interest has been received and we're reminding you to be here at 5:30 and here's the process.
They each got a letter saying it was received and to come, so I'll send a reminder the day I send out the board packet.
Oh, should we say their names to the, I mean,
You
to,
can.
yeah, okay, so for the public, for transparency, we did get 6 people interested in filling the vacancy, and they are Rochelle Hatcher, Catherine LaValle, Kate Flores, Brandon Phoenix, Kira Gladney, Stacy Olson, and say it again.
Yes.
Nylea Smith. So those are the people we will be interviewing 3 questions to on August 25th at 5:30, right here at 3 West.
Can you say more to the public about, like, this is just for a year?
Yes, good, thank you for that. So this is to fill a vacancy, and per state law, when you fill a vacancy, the next election cycle, they have to rerun. So currently, me and Trustee Grayjack are up for election in 2026, but now me, Trustee Grayjack, and this new person will be up for election in 2026. So there'll be 3 open spots for the 2026 election. So this vacancy will go until December 2026.
And you have to be,
You have to reside within the Battle Creek Public School District. Not the city, the district. We got 4 districts in the city,
So
so.
all of these candidates have been already screened for that, correct?
that's why I was looking at one.
Yes.
That's good.
Any other questions on this topic or? Cool, I think we got a good plan. We're gonna do great in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody. Moving on to D, Southwestern Demolition. Mr. Hayden.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
I left the phone up here.
Commercial. Carly or?
Someone's gonna be.
You gonna get all the way home?
I'll leave it there. All right, guys, well, again, I won't be in front of you long, but I'm here to bring up the issue and the wonderful concern of the demolition of Southwestern. Let's everybody say yay. We're in the process of preparing for the demolition of Southwestern. As everyone is aware, the building has sustained significant damage due to vandalism, break-ins, and so forth. And right now, it's just an ongoing safety concern. We're hearing it not only from the people in the community, but our law enforcement and our fire department whenever they have to go into the building. It's potential safety hazard for them as well. So we want to get that off our books. This work is going to be funded through our most recent voter-approved bond. And one thing is are the steps. So right now we have to get a NESHAP, which is the National Emission Standards for Hazardous Air Pollutants. So we have to get a NESHAP for our asbestos. So we have to get that taken care of first. And then once we get that out the way, then we can go ahead and get the quote from them and then move forward with the demolition of the building. Next step of that, once we complete the demolition, and again, it's all through our bonds, so it won't cost the district anything, which is a wonderful thing. Thank you so much. Once we do that, then we'll be able to create a temporary community playground, which is something we want to do. We want to give that, so we're going to use the repurposed playground equipment that we're going to get, because we do have some of that equipment that's still good that we're going to get from the bond, from the schools, so we're going to use that as repurposed for the playgrounds in that particular area. And then if we don't get a developer that wants to do it, then at least we'll have something that will be appealing to the community. Now, one thing we've discussed is maybe the land now will be available. It will be more attractive to a developer because we do have we have a number of other opportunities coming in here, and it's also right along that thoroughfare, just a little bit off Dickman Road, off Capitol. So we may have some opportunities there. So let's get that NESHAP first, and we'll put it up to you for bid for getting it demolished. And then once we do that, we'll get it all clear and put in a playground for the community. Any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
What will we do with the track
So,
in the parking lot?
correct. So the land that's over on that side where that track is going to stay. Remember, we're just talking about that footprint that is the school. And when we package it, we'll package it with the parking lot, the footprint for the school, and that one side. Because some people have asked about the actual field, but the amount of money they want for the field, or people are asking for it. We don't want to sell it. We want to get this whole package.
The NESHAP, how long does that take to get?
That doesn't take long because we'd already investigated how much or what we needed to get it done. So really the flip now is just come on in and get it done. So I'm thinking that hopefully in the next week or two, we'll get proposed on that. And then that'll be the first step in the part.
Once we get that approval,
Okay.
what's our timeline from there? I just want to be prepared for.
Well, and again, I'll walk you through what we're looking at
Okay.
because we do want to get the community involved. We do want to ask them, this is something that's been a safety thing, something they brought up, so we do want to give an opportunity. Some people, believe it or not, I've had some people ask they want to walk through the building again for Sentimentals Day.
I do too.
See? There you go.
It's because I like historic, I don't know, I think it's cool.
I did it.
I'm weird.
Across my feet.
I actually had someone contact me this weekend about that building, making some inquiries what we were going to do and if it was safe, so the sooner the better.
Yes, exactly. And that's what
Trying to walk somebody through that? No, that's ridiculous. That's all we need is some lawsuit that we can't afford. And I'm glad, I'm very happy, and I would be totally against separating that land. That's a nice piece of land, and just to get them a football field, because that's what people would most likely want. No, you either take it all or go away, but this is my opinion.
So can Can I say that the purpose of tonight's discussion was to first publicly make everybody aware that we are moving forward, that it is our intent to demolish that space, but also to hear from the board, are there considerations in regards to community awareness? Is this enough? What do you believe should be the board's next step? Because this really is the board's property more so than the district.
So I don't know, we're laughing because it's like, oh, you wanna, but I think if we think of it differently, there's a lot of pride for the schools that we attended here in Battle Creek, right? And so something needs to happen to it. It's deteriorating, and we're going to expect that some people who have really good memories, especially in that neighborhood, who will feel a way, right? Not like they don't believe that something should happen. It's just in the middle, as you mentioned. So I'm wondering, it's been years, so probably not, but do we preserve anything within the building that might have some historical, it's probably all torn. I haven't been in there, right? So I don't know if there's anything that
we could preserve some things. That would be something, and again, I don't want to prolong it, but we don't want to have this Southwestern preservation thing that ends up saying, no, we don't want to do this now because of that. I mean, I've heard
Plaque or
stories.
something, just a historic landmark.
Yes, something like that.
So
For history's sake,
I
right?
think what I hear you saying that you triggered for me is like, if there's something in the wall that said established and la la la, right?
Yes.
Some sort of plaque. If that's something we can take from the building and give to the alumni center.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So while you're going through it, if there's a piece that is embedded in that building, that even a brick that has some sort of value that can then be given to the alumni center, I think that would preserve some.
Because there is one on the side that says 1924.
Yep.
We can get that when they demo.
Yes.
I like that thought.
So I have a comment and a question. Comment being, you were very clear about this is being covered by the bond. Great. So as we communicate this out, let's emphasize that, because with our budget concerns that we've been having and people not understanding money comes in buckets, we can't just use whatever. Like, let's help that be a part of the education for the community that this is from the bond. We can't use this money to do whatever else you want us to do. So that's my first point. Second question is, was Southwestern the only school that was set to be demoed under the bond, or is Washington or anyplace else?
Washington wasn't, because Washington is marketable with the 9 acres behind it and footprint. So
Yeah.
but that is one thing I made mention for that purpose, let people know it's for the bond proceeds. You know, make sure it's not going to cost the district anything.
Right.
I think another valuable talking point is, first, thank you to the community for giving us the funds to allow us to repurpose this space for community engagement or economic vitality. So our purpose is to try to give that back to housing development or something that actually benefits the entire city. That would be the biggest return. And we've had developers want that space, but they don't want to asbestos and all of that. This creates a higher readiness. So that's good.
The only other thing I would like to, when we do tear it down, we've been talking about this forever, is to make sure that the surrounding neighbors, even though we're talking about this public, if we can just send out some notice to those surrounding neighbors that when, where, what time this is going to take place. And I don't know if it's possible, when we tore down the police department, because it has such meaning to different people, there was a time allotted for people to come up and grab a break. And believe it or not, people did that. I did. So I don't know if it's something we can look at.
That's a great idea.
Come up and grab a break and take it home.
Former students, they would love it.
That was the purpose of this discussion. Get some ideas about how we make sure the community feels like we did, involve them. That's a great idea.
And with the grab and break, you'll need to get an option where people can reach out and have one set aside if they don't live locally.
I like that. And again, just to kind of wrap it all up, I've heard stories that people went to the school and, not only the remotes and the relationships they built at school, but then walked home from there, wouldn't have got their hair did after that, all those type of things.
Yes.
So we understand that that is something that's great for the community, which again, we do want to make sure we bring that out to them and give them that opportunity, so. Any other questions?
There is the crown. I think that's the crown. If we can preserve that, that would be really nice.
Tell me
It's
where
up
it is.
top. It's when you, it's
Bell
right
tower?
up top.
Is there a bell in the bell tower?
It's
Yeah,
not
there's still a
tower,
bell- there's still a
it's,
bell in the bell
Yeah,
tower.
it's, I see it. You'd
Okay.
have to drive, and if it sits, because it's like a castle.
Yeah.
It's up top. Just a thought. Doesn't have to, because we don't want to delay
We'll
this.
check and see. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to spend too much extra, as we're already going to jackhammer
Right.
up at the 1924 board, that plaque. Anything else? Thank you so
Thank
much.
Okay, moving on to E, before and after care update. Dr. Harvey.
Good evening. Great things continue to happen at Battle Creek Public Schools. And one of them is our extended learning care. So we, as many of you know, funds were released to salvage the 21st Century Grant that covers the extended learning programs at 6 of our schools. And you know we have more than 6 schools. And so we're celebrating the fact that we have funding to open after-school programming at Battle Creek Central High School, Battle Creek STEM Innovation Center, Northwestern Academy of Visual and Performing Arts, Valley View Elementary, and Springfield Middle School. Now you may be wondering, what about the other 5 schools? Those schools were covered under an OST grant, which is called 32N. And that grant is still currently being allocated at the state funding level, meaning it may not continue into the upcoming school year, the 25-26 school year. We do have funding to offer programming up to September 30th, and then we're in a wait and see process. So I wanted to bring this before you so that we can have a discussion around possible next steps of what can happen so that we can offer programming at those sites that are not covered under the 21st Century Grant. One of the immediate requests is a no-cost extension, which would give us an additional 30 days. So potentially we can go up until October 31st. Now, this is not guaranteed, but it is something that we're going to do and ask the state to allow. There are some local foundation grants that we are seeking, but again, let me tell you. So the cost of running programming at these schools is $380,000. So there are some local grants that we are seeking to help with the shortfall, as well as there was a notion of potentially parent pay extension cost. And so what would it look like to explore offering programming, but parents actually pay for the programming that it would cost, or the model that it would cost to offer those programs at those sites? So I just wanted to bring this before the board because we know how important before and after school care is to our families, and oftentimes it will be a deterrent for attendance if students or if families are not offered this option, especially at the schools, and I don't think I named them: Verona, Lemoore Park, A&J Kellogg, Post Franklin, and Fremont. So again, I wanted to open this up for discussion as to next steps, exploration of ideas, because we definitely want to be able to service our families in all schools.
So I have a question related to the parent pay option. Would it only be for the schools that aren't covered, or would it be an option where we're spreading out amongst all the schools? How are we thinking about that?
So it would only be for the schools that are not covered under the 21st Century Grant, because they are already, because funding has been allocated, we could not change their allocation for that particular site. So that money is secure for that particular site. There is no modification to say, can we take some of this and go to free? No. And by the way, I did invite Director Mariah Bell to also answer questions should you have any additional that I cannot answer.
I do want to make sure that we are clear that that's part of the discussion we wanted to have here is how does the board feel about if 5 schools, and you said 5, BCC, STEM, Northwestern, Valley View, and SMS. Did I miss one? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I thought you said
Valley View and Springfield. That's it.
So the Northwestern is included Dudley, past Dudley, and then the Northwestern students, so it's K.
Oh, that's right, because I broke it up elementary, middle.
So Northwestern is also covered by 21st Century right now?
Yes.
Okay, so then if those schools are taken care of, if we don't have any funding source beyond September 30th, are we saying, yes, let's look into a pay for services at only these schools, even though the other ones have no pay for service? That's a discussion that we needed to have about how the board was feeling in terms of the direction to give administration. So I just wanted to be clear about that.
Well, it's a tough pill to swallow. But if we want those services to continue, that's going to be about messaging and communication to sell that. Because you have no choice, really. We got to have funding from somewhere. Push back. Well, my kid goes here, they don't have to pay. Yeah, we're going to hear that. That's a given. But it's about communication, and especially when I heard Ann J, because that's right there in the neighborhood. And that's a lot of people depend on Ann J. I guess when we talk about the pay, is there something in price in mind, or is it going
Cost modeling.
Based on families, with some type of process where you have to submit paperwork in, and then we go on income? I mean, those type of things going to come up. And what about the purchase as well? I can't pay anything.
I think that's my biggest concern. Not so much well, my one child doesn't have to do it and this child does. My concern is to be equitable. If I am, right, not all families have the same access to income to afford it, and that scares me because we're really good with being equitable, and then this is just like a darn
So part of my question was cost, like if we've done any cost modeling, even if we had like a cost model where parents that have ability to pay kind of does subsidize it for other families that can't. But I think the equitable, you're right? Like it's already inequitable the way that this is already done, and I think the question then is some care better than none, right? So we can say, well, because we can't do it equitably, we're not going to do it at all. Or we can say, we're going to do our best with what we have, and so there is an option if we have to have one.
Can we look into like supports? I know you said foundation grants, but I think about like local churches sometimes will sponsor somebody or do a scholarship or whatever as a way. Once we understand costing, maybe there's a request out there to say, hey, sponsor this for after school services or something like that. I know we're ideating, but I think that's what popped in my mind is something that we might be able to utilize for scholarships or support.
100% yes, totally agree with you. I know my husband does a lot of theater, and they always sponsor kids to be in a play or whatever, and just a community member does it. So that's a huge, I'm glad you brought that up because that's something we can utilize.
So the question here on the floor, we were going to ask this, but what we really want to get direction on is we feel comfortable creating a pay for service in some of our schools. To your point, it isn't a all or nothing. we're okay with, because we don't have numbers or anything, we want to get direction. And then if we feel comfortable with that, we'll go start doing cost modeling and conversation as a plan B. Plan A is, can we get everybody the same level of service? But if we can't, are we okay having half the district with a grant and half the district with a pay for service? So that's what we wanted direction on.
I think we should, I'm sorry, turn over every rock, and you guys may have already, but I'm even thinking, like, are there area employers that would be willing to just add this to their well-being benefit, right? Like, add childcare. You know, Bronson, for example, you're able to get your summer camps reimbursed. Like, how can we work with some of our employers to say, hey, we are faced with this situation. We know that, 30% of our parents actually work at your organization. So their child care is your solution too, right? So I wondered if we could even think about how we work with employers to support some of the costs.
But to your question, if it was being utilized, obviously there's a need. So it's not ideal, but I've talked to people at other districts and they gotta pay. So it's unfortunate that we have it split within our district. That's difficult, but I think to not have it offered is problematic. We just gotta figure out how to make it work with scholarships, all the things that we were talking about. But I think to say, no, we're not gonna offer it, that would be more problematic than offering it at a fee. That's just my thought.
It is what it is. It ain't about me being comfortable, it's about reality. The reality is, we don't have the money. That's the reality. And if you want these services, you have to, some people have to pay. I mean, that's just the reality. Ain't no way to sugarcoat that. Like I said, it's about messaging.
Yeah, make sure we are clear about why we don't have the money to happen.
And the other thing I was thinking about is there's some other people trying to start up aftercare services before care and aftercare services. And so you have to look at that too.
Is this just for before care, or this, so the funding that we have for those 6 schools, is that before and after care or just before? Okay.
The 380 is the cost for the year for all 5 schools?
Correct.
The only other question I have is, will this cause parents to say, well, I want my kid to go over there? Is that going to create an issue?
It could, but I mean, to the point, yeah, it could.
Cause I
didn't think about that until right now, but
I'm foreseeing that right now.
Right. It could. But I just want to go on record to say that this is in case we have to,
Yeah.
but my team is really working diligently behind the scenes to try to figure out, at least for the rest of this year, how to to continue programming. But we did want to have a conversation about if those things don't come to fruition, do we want to establish a pay for service? And it sounds like the answer we got is yes. We'll do the best we can to make it equitable if we have to go that route. And we do have some community members who are coming forward to say, might we create a satellite program? And all Battle Creek has to do is create busing to which we could do. So I just want to put that out there, that we are exploring other options where we might not be able to say, yes, it's at your school. You have access to aftercare because we're going to bus them to a space where your student can have. So those are some other options that we're looking at.
Any other questions?
So we said it's up till September 30th, so the schools, the 5 schools you named, are going to run it at their schools, no cost through the 30th, maybe of September, maybe 30th October.
Oh, so that is limited. That's the one that's, so either way, we're running out of funding, period.
For those schools, yes.
For just
No,
Verona,
for
Lamona,
Ramona Park, and Jay
Oh,
Holmes.
gotcha. But the other BCC, STEM, all of those are covered through the year. Okay.
So we will message to families that after-school program will be there for the first part of the year. What we're trying to figure, we just want it to continue, and we'll work on that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moving on to public comment. Do we have any public comment? Superintendent comments.
Yes, let me find, because I always give wrong dates and times. I want to make sure I'm right. Not always. So first and foremost, I want to welcome our staff back. Tomorrow is opening day for all of our school-based staff, and I am looking forward to welcoming them in the W.K. Kellogg Auditorium tomorrow. Also on Wednesday, August 13th, is our grand opening and ribbon cutting for the Dudley Early Learning Center. So we're looking forward to having staff tours as early as 4:45, but the ribbon cutting ceremony will be at 5:30. Again, that is Wednesday, August 13th, and we hope to see you at our new Dudley Early Learning Center run by Ms. Tricia Graycheck. Finally, the first day of school is Wednesday. Yep. Yep. The 20th. Wednesday, August 20th. And we begin with a half day. Thank you, everybody. Wait. And they laughed out loud at me. We did. Thank you.
Okay. Board member comment.
I don't know how you find that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was last time too. So I'll kick it off, I guess. I want to give kudos to principals. So I have kids at every school, every level. I got a Fremont, a STEM, and a Central. And all of the principals have communicated. So I had the STEM open house this morning. Principal Manley did a great job of giving us a very comprehensive overview. Went through all of the things that we needed to know. She gave a reference to the promise statement already. So I said, yep, great for that, and introduced that to the parents. Cell phone prohibition, which was nice, only after or before or after school, not during school, love that. And then gave a nice overview of when to come to school based on illness, resetting our COVID mind, as she said. So that was super helpful. And then Principal Ford, since I have a freshman, had a nice section in his newspaper around why attendance matters, and I wanted to call those out. He called out 5 things: learning opportunities, number 1. 2 is academic achievement. 3 is building responsibility. 4 is social development, and 5 is future success. And then that focus on the ABC being attendance, behavior, and coursework. I think those are all great, and as somebody who works with adults, I would love to populate that out to adults about why attendance matters. So I love that they're setting that for our students already, especially as freshmen. Another thing I forgot to note with Principal Manley was saying that the middle school is really focused on getting kids ready for high school. So love that about getting them to be more independent. And then for Fremont, with us having a new principal with Miss Oliver, she also picked up seamlessly with our Fremont family notes that we're used to seeing. So keeping that seamless line of communication, because again, having to manage for 3 different locations and multiple sports is nice to start having those communications come through. So kudos to those principals at those schools. I'm sure the principals at the other schools are doing great stuff too. I just don't have kids there, so I don't have that info. So great for that.
So to piggyback off of that, one of the best, I think the best starting points for student success and family engagement is to come to the open house. So check your schools, your children's schools, open houses, and show up, meet the teacher, know your teacher's names, ask good questions. So encouraging that. Mine's is at Valley View, so I got mine coming up next week. And I'm extra. I've already asked if I could have a special meeting with the teacher. So I also wanted to share, the Battle Creek Community Foundation is having their annual meeting block party. It is Wednesday, the first day of school, from 4 to 6. So I know we got a half a day, but go get you something to eat, come back. Well, there'll be lots of food there, so you might want to keep your appetite. But there will be some fun activities, family friendly activities downtown Battle Creek. And then I've been waiting for a meeting where you were here so that I can congratulate my colleague on a promotion at her company. And I just want to say, like, it's an example of, so you could say the title is Vice President of something.
Labor, employment, ethics, and compliance.
Nice.
Yes. So thank you for representing Battle Creek Public Schools, coming back to your community and showing what progression looks like. So thank you.
Right.
And you're at Kellogg, by the way.
Yes, WK Kellogg Co. Soon to be something else possibly. TBD.
Right.
So I just wanted to say once again, because we've been talking about Southwestern for so long, I wanted to tell man Herb, I'm glad this is finally taking place and moving forward. Please, no more delays. Let's get it done. And it's a new year, so I wanted to say welcome back to the kids, come back safely, and to the parents. It's been a while since I said this. Since it is a new year, we have board meetings, and it would be great to see parents invest in Battle Creek Public Schools, not just to complain, not on Facebook. And for those who have a lot to say on Facebook, it would be nice if you would come in here to our board meeting and talk to us. We have public comment and share some of your concerns. So again, I invite you to come out into the audience and share some of those concerns so we can continue to make great things happen at Battle Creek Public Schools.
President, yes. First, I just want to say thanks to my fellow board members and everyone else for being flexible, understanding that I've, due to a work commitment this summer, I've been coming in 1 hour late to the last 3 meetings, and the last 2 meant coming in literally the last second. So I apologize, but keeping up with the packets and watching the live streams. I'm back to my regular scheduled next meeting at normal time. So thanks for understanding on that. Also very excited about the Southwestern. That's a great development. And then as far as me, I'm looking very much forward to the ribbon cutting ceremony. I think it is, or the open house. Yeah, both. Okay, check my notes. Both the ribbon cutting open house for the new Dudley Early Learning Center this Wednesday at 5:30. Light refreshments, tours, and on the spot enrollments while spots last. Please come out to that.
4-year-olds.
Yep.
5:30 p.m.
Yes.
Like somewhere there was a, yeah, okay. Okay, I have actually nothing to say except great things are happening in Battle Creek Public Schools. Meeting adjourned.